What's up, everybody? Welcome to tonight's episode of the Not Your Average Mark Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, the Tutorial Boss Guapo, and with me is the guy that told Michael Hayes, P.S., you should be a free bird. The one and only Mike Caldwell. Mike, what's going on, man?
Oh, man. Same thing, different day.
I understand that feeling. It's been a good week for wrestling. We're going to talk all about it. Before we do, want to say what's up to Aaron Marie in the chat. Want to say what's up to Mary Youngblood in the chat. Glad you guys could join us. And Mike, the man with 32 months worth of subscription. Appreciate you, brother.
Hey, not a problem.
All right, so before we get too far into things, of course, as always, I want to give a few thank yous out there. I want to say thank you to Ross and the boys from Labor 12 for our intro-outro music. Track's called Head Rush, album's called Monsters. They are working on their second album. And if you haven't had a chance to check it out yet, what are you waiting for? I mean, come on now. Head on over to labor12.com. That's laborxii.com. You can see everything they've got going on. I want to say thank you to Joe and American Legacy for all our Not Your Average merch. We got the hats, we got the bandanas, we got the skull caps, we got the beanies, we got the stuff. We got all the things. Want to say thank you to J-Rebs 3D Printing, my boy Cameron taking care of us. Now, do you see this little piece of awesome right here? If you have a logo that you want to do cool things like that, you need to get in touch with my boy Cameron, jrebs3dprinting.com. He hooked this up, and it is absolutely one of my favorite things I have in my podcast room. So check him out. That's jrebs3dprinting.com. Thank you to Blind Ambition Studios for all of our awesome graphics. Thank you to WrestlingSociety.com for including us in their podcast room. And, of course, the one that keeps everything going, makes it all look great. Thank you to the guy, Patrick. Appreciate what you do. And you may be thinking to yourself, what is it that Patrick does? Well, I'll tell you what he does. He does a little bit of everything. You need some video going on? He's the guy. You need some audio? He's the guy. You want to run a podcast? He's the guy. And most recently, if you want a good website like www.notyouraverage.com, he's the guy. He's got it set up with bios and calendars and all sorts of cool stuff there. You can buy merch on the website. And most recently, we've set up our Discord. If you haven't done it yet, head over to Discord or head over to any of our socials. Go to the About section. You can find the link to our Discord, or you can find it on the website, notyouraverage.com. We do watch-alongs for Raw, for SmackDown, for PLEs. We've done it for NXT. Hell, we even did one for the Clown Show. I mean, just to say that we did. So make sure you're checking that out. Normally, this is the part where I would go into main roster moments, but I want to hold on for a second because there's a couple of things I need to say. I don't know how many of you know this, but West Texas, the wrestling community in West Texas is a family, and we all make it go around. And I want to take a moment to say to someone who is just as in love with wrestling as we are here at the podcast, having a birthday today, Richie Wong. Happy birthday, brother. I hope your day is as awesome as you are.
Heck yeah.
Richie is a staple in West Texas independent professional wrestling. So head over to his socials. Make sure you tell him happy birthday. And Richie, from all of us here at the Not Your Average Mark Wrestling Podcast, happy birthday, brother. Want to throw out a congrats also to Lubbock Pro Wrestling 101 on a successful Comic-Con weekend in Midland. I've heard nothing but glowing reviews from all of their matches. So Lubbock Pro Wrestling 101, congrats on this weekend.
Absolutely. 3 days worth of wrestling over there.
Oh, yeah. Now that we've got all of that out of the way, got to say what's up to Jello. He's in the chat. Angela Buchanan in the chat. J-Rev, what's up, brother? Got all sorts of people joining us tonight to talk about wrestling, so let's talk about some wrestling.
Let's do it.
Let's get into main roster moments. We'll start with SmackDown. SmackDown opened hot. You know, you've got Nick Aldis, you've got Drew McIntyre. Drew coming out through the crowd and demanding that Nick Aldis make the fact that Drew was screwed over right. And both these dudes are heated, right? They're all both of them all kinds of pissed off, to the point I think at some point we're getting a Drew versus Magnus match. I just see it happening, and I am here for it. I just want that to be said. But have no fear. Jacob Fatu is here. Well, I mean, you might fear a little bit about Jacob Fatu being here.
I mean, if he was here, I would be scared.
He comes out to tell Drew that Drew wouldn't even be champ if it weren't for him. Facts. So he came out last Friday night to make that right. We're getting Drew versus Jacob. Like, that's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to be at Mania. I don't know if it's going to be at SummerSlam. I don't know when it's going to be, but it's going to happen.
Yep.
So, go ahead.
As all of this is going down, Drew looks Aldous dead in the face and goes, "I quit."
Oh yeah, Drew Bautista. That's what I called him.
Yes,
because he did it just like Bautista did back in the day. He looked at him and says, "I quit," and walks out through the crowd. Does the whole like this. Drew quit, and they're both Nick Aldis and Jacob Fatu are in the ring going, "What the hell just happened?"
Exactly.
Which was what most of the crowd was doing. What the hell just happened here? At what point did we lose control of this situation? It's gonna. I can't wait to see where this one goes. We go from that, the MFTs versus the Wyatt Six. Okay. Normally, I would say that this is getting old, maybe kind of stale, the whole MFTs and Wyatt Six thing. But I had a conversation with someone that's just as into wrestling as I am, and it was given kind of a different perspective that I want to kind of share with you, share with everybody that's listening. So you've got 10 people involved in this. 5 of the MFTs, 5 of the Wyatt Six, right?
Mm-hmm.
That being the case, you can mix and match. You can do singles matches. You can do tag matches. You've got a storyline going with the Lantern and the implications with Bray. I mean, you've got this whole thing going, and you can change it up every week because you have so many people involved. But you get a lot of people that are like, "This is stale. Just give them the damn lantern and let's move on." But then you have 10 superstars, all of them talented as hell. What do you do with them then?
Hey, they're telling a story right now. I'm here for it.
No, and I am too. Like I really enjoy what's going on, and this match was good. Like all 4 of these guys showed up and showed out. You had Solo Sikoa. Like I've always liked Solo, but he's finally starting to come into himself, I think. Like he's starting to embrace this character, and it shows while he's on TV. We get the match going. Everything's going crazy. Nikki Cross manages to grab the lantern. And she's Nikki Cross, of course. So she's all crazy that she's, you know what? I'm not going to say that because then she might see it and would say bad things to me. She's a bit touched, I would say. And the distraction, of course, causing Howdy to go ahead and get the win, which is great. She, everything's happy. We have the lantern. And then she gets absolutely waylaid by Tama Tonga, who takes the lantern back because before the match, Solo Sikoa said, "Guard this with your life."
Very much so.
So once again, the lantern is hostage. Looking over at the chat, what do we got going on? Mary Youngblood, I watched the clown show last night. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that you put yourself through that. Jello saying 2 stale things: MFTs versus Wyatts and Stephanie versus Raquel. Of Steph's six matches, 5. Like 5 have involved Raquel. And I understand that. We're going to get to that when we get to Raw because I've got a few things I want to say about that as well. But this match, for what it was good. I enjoyed, of course, the belts stay where they were. I don't believe this was a title match. It was just simply what it was, the MFTs versus the Wyatt Six.
Yeah, and we finally got the rendition where it was leader with their giant.
Yeah. And it's what I've been waiting for. I enjoyed every minute of it. We also have Janine Wade coming into the chat. Janine, what's up? Glad you're here. we went from this into Jade Cargill versus Michin. This was a good match, especially for Michin, because I don't know if you remember or not, but she's returning in this match. She was injured back in October by, that's right, you guessed it, Jade Cargill. So she came out hot, stayed that way through most of the match. And I think, honestly, that elevated what Jade was doing. You know, her staying so hot through the match kept Jade hot through the match, and it made for a good match. And we got Jade powerbombing Michin on the barrier. That just looked painful.
Yeah, no thank you.
Yeah, I'm good. Like I got a chiropractor, don't need the barrier. I'm good. After that, she rolls her back in the ring. She hits a choke slam, but before she hits the choke slam, she did something, Jade Cargill did, that was just a little tiny, teeny bit weird. She's got Michin ready for the choke slam, pulls her up close and licks her from here all the way up. Like, I'm not sure how to feel about that.
It's called mind games.
Well, it worked because that was a little out there. Of course, she hits the choke slam, does her finisher, does Jaded, gets the win. So I feel that we're going to run this back at least once or twice more, because I feel like Michin elevates Jade.
Well, anytime Jade is getting a chance to get in ring time and get reps, I'm all for it.
Yes.
Because she is, she screams megastar. And the main complaint I've heard was the fact that Jade Cargill is not getting enough ring time.
And I feel like that's true.
So anytime she's getting in there with anybody, Michin, B.C.W, Jordan Grace, whoever it happens to be, Rhea Ripley sooner rather than later. These are chances for Jade to show everybody, yes, I do have 5 years experience, and yes, I am better than what all you internet marks think that I am.
Oh, 100%. And I've said this on the watch-alongs, and I'll say it again now. I think that Jade just needs that validation match. And I think this is our match with Michin on Friday was a good build-up to that. And I still feel like, and I know we're a month away, but I'm still throwing it out there that I feel like Jade Cargill is going to retain against Rhea Ripley. I think Rhea is going to put her over, and who better to make sure that she stays safe, to make sure that the match is spectacular, and to put over somebody who, while she has been there 5 years, I understand that, I would still call a green champion. Oh, who better to put her over than Mommy?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we did say 5 years. Granted, the first 3.5 of that was elsewhere.
Yes,
and we had to go back. We had to retrain. I mean, she had the fundamentals where they needed to be because of who her trainer was to begin with.
Agreed.
But getting into the scenarios that she is right now, where she is, not to catch on the cliche, but she is that bitch right now.
She is. I mean, that's 100%.
And
go ahead.
But we've got there's so much more that legitimizing Jade with the defeat of Rhea Ripley. There's so much that they can do with that, and that's going to elevate her so much more.
Oh, I agree. And we've got Janine Wade in the chat saying, I agree she's needing more ring time. Jade's a badass. I agree. Wholeheartedly, I agree. And I think this is the kickoff to that. I think we were in a holding pattern for a little while because the plan was for Jade and Bianca. But Bianca, her hand didn't heal correctly. The knuckle didn't heal correctly, so she had to have surgery once again. So I think now we're starting to get the movement towards other things for Jade. Jello in the chat saying, I think WWE needs to get Jade a speech therapist to smooth out her articulation issues. I mean, they could, but I honestly feel like that's part of her character. That's part of her character charm. So I'm not sure if that would do well for her or not.
Well, I mean, considering the experience factor, you could do a lot worse.
No, I agree. So that takes us into the Irresistible Forces, your women's tag team champions. That being, of course, Nia Jax and Lash Legend versus Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss. A little bit of a surprise at the start of this one, though. Charlotte and Alexa come out and they do their thing and everything's good. We're waiting for the Irresistible Forces to come out, but that's not the music that hits. No, it's the Bella Twins. Completely unexpected. I was not expecting to see them. And basically they came out and they're like, you know what? We're going to sit down right over here. We're going to watch the match. We got next. Which I thought was kind of cool. This match had the formula. What do I mean by the formula? Heels attack the faces right out of the gate. Faces fight back. So you got Nia and Lash attacking Charlotte and Alexa right off the bat. Charlotte and Alexa fight back. Everything gets going good until they separate off Alexa. And they just keep beating on Alexa, keep beating on Alexa, keep beating on Alexa until Alexa gets in and gets the hot tag to Charlotte. It's the recipe for a good match. It is. Charlotte comes in hot, starts taking everybody down. I dug it. Jello says, it's the Bellas. What could possibly go wrong? You know what? I'm glad you asked that, because as the everything goes out to the floor, Charlotte goes for a kick, and what does Nia Jax do? Pulls Brie Bella in front of the kick, and then takes out Nikki Bella, and they get back in the ring. So they're going back and forth. They've got them beat. Charlotte and Alexa have the Irresistible Forces beat. Charlotte hits, I don't remember exactly what she calls it. Her flip move. Natural selection. She hits natural selection, and Alexa Bliss goes up to the top rope, fixing to do Twisted Bliss, and here comes Nikki Bella. Cost them the match and the championship. So this is not over. This is not over by a long shot.
No. And it appears is what's going to be happening is we are going to have a multiple team match for the women's tag titles at Mania.
I kind of think you're right about that. I think that we get a multi-team match, and you know what? I'm kind of here for it. Like, I'd be all right with that. This takes us to Damian Priest and R-Truth versus Los Garzas. This was a match that was set up a little earlier, and the segment where this was set up, I'm not gonna lie, I popped. Like, it was. So the Garzas are like, you two aren't even a tag team. Like, I don't even understand why you were even in the tournament, and we did all the hard work. We did all the heavy lifting, and you guys just came in at the end. And Damian Priest is like, yep, you did all the hard lifting, and then we took you out in seconds. And so they're going back and forth, and Damian Priest leans over to his partner, R-Truth, and says, you thinking what I'm thinking? R-Truth says, yup. I don't know either one of them, and one of them's not wearing deodorant. I love R-Truth so much. It's hilarious. this was a good match to validate Priest and R-Truth as a tag team. You know, some of the great tag teams are singles competitors put together. And I think that this match did a good job of validating that tag team as they go into a tag team title match. Of course, they won the tournament, so that's what they get. And I believe they get that Friday, like tomorrow. So Los Garzas are a great team, and they showed exactly why they are a great team, because the chemistry they have, they're able to hit move after move after move after move. I've said it before, excuse me, I've said it before about the Motor City Machine Guns, how they one move creates another move, and Los Garzas are real good about that as well. In the end, we get Damian Priest hitting the South of Heaven for the win, 1, 2, 3, in what was a very good match.
Yes, absolutely. But after that was all said and done, we had a nice little backstage interaction with Mr. Miz and Mr. Danhausen.
Yes. Danhausen is decided. Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
You got backed out there for a second.
He had Danhausen wanted Miz to wear one of his shirts out to the ring for the Miz TV segment, and with Jelly Jam.
Yes, with Jelly Jam.
And Miz looked at him like he was stupid, and he goes, "You've got a T-shirt?" He's like, "Yes."
Why don't you?
Is that? Well, doesn't everybody? And the Miz looked at him like he done stole his thunder, and he goes, "Well, you're going to wear this tonight." So, "No, I'm not." "Well, you are cursed," and then disappears.
Once again, Miz goes around, and no Danhausen. So Miz makes his way to the ring, and we're going to have some Miz TV. And special guest, the much slimmer, very nice, very evil, Jelly Roll, otherwise, or as Danhausen calls him, Jelly Jam.
Yes, Jelly Jam.
Now, look, I am a Jelly Roll fan. I like his music. I like what he's doing on WWE. I'm proud to see the weight loss and the weight loss he's had and the healthy way he's done it. Like, I'm a fan.
Yes.
But when I say that I popped when the Miz looked at him and said, "I liked you better when you were fat," I laughed just the look on Jelly's face, like, really? That's what you want to say to me? Because Miz asked him. He's like, you're doing great things, and all you need is a mentor, someone who can teach you the 3 core values. And Jelly Roll, he said, all you have to do is say yes. And Jelly Roll's like, no. Because you got like this history of stabbing your partners in the back. So I'm good, thank you. And Miz unhappy, completely unhappy. And I just, when he's, you know what? I liked you better when you were fat.
Yep. Incoming Kit Wilson at this point.
Yeah, here comes Kit Wilson, and Kit Wilson looks Jelly Roll right in the face and says, "You are fatphobic." Wasn't expecting that one.
No.
And they go a little further, and he says that, of course, you are toxic. And Jelly Roll goes to right in the mouth, and the curse takes effect because Kit Wilson gets out of the way, and Miz just gets absolutely laid out.
Yeah.
It
was a big right hand.
It was. Yeah, he was swinging for the fences on that.
But that was the second thing of the curse. If you remember correctly, Miz came out to start his segment, and the microphone quit working right in mid-sentence.
That's true. He had to get a second microphone.
So Miz is taking this curse to heart now,
Yeah, he's a little concerned, I think.
and
You know, I'm going to throw it out there like I did with one of the other matches, with the Jade match. I truly believe that at Mania, I think that this Friday, somehow or another, and I think it'll probably involve the Wyatt Six, I think that Damian Priest and R-Truth win the tag titles. And I think we get Damian Priest and R-Truth versus Miz and Danhausen at Mania.
I don't.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I think that it's going to be Miz versus Jelly Roll in a singles match.
Okay.
At WrestleMania.
That is a potential.
And Danhausen will be in Miz's corner.
I could see it. I could definitely see it. So out of that, we come on to Tiffany Stratton versus Kiana James. Now, the reason this match is happening is because Tiffany wants Julia. She wants that U.S. title. Julia's like, no. Kiana James is like, no. If you want a shot at her, you have to get through me first. And Tiffy's like, bet. Tiffy time.
Yep.
So I will say this. Kiana James has come a long way, and she's done so in a very short time, and I'm here for it. Like, I like from the, being in the Rumble, from doing the Samoan drop with Nia Jax to what she did in the Elimination Chamber to matches she's had on Raw or on SmackDown, I guess. Like, she's impressive as hell.
Yeah. Tiffy's getting a little bit of an attitude change, and I'm digging how that's going.
Now, before this match started, we were treated to a little bit of a laugh because Tiffy's doing the cutting a promo while I'm walking the gorilla thing, and she's doing good. She's cutting her promo, and Chelsea Green wheels herself in there, about to say something. Tiffany doesn't miss a beat, grabs the wheelchair and just pushes her out of frame and keeps walking. It was funny. I laughed. I thought it was great.
I had flashbacks to the moment where Chelsea's husband got thrown with a wheelchair off the stage.
Yes. I'd forgotten about that, but yeah. So we get to the match. During the match, of course, it's going to be good. You've got Tiffany Stratton, you've got Kiana James, and they have exactly the kind of match you thought they would. Good back and forth, but during the match, Alba Fire wheels out Chelsea Green, and they're going to try to do something, and Julia's like, "No, I don't think so. That's not happening because if you go in and hit her, then you're going to cost Kiana the match. So that's not happening." There's chaos outside the ring, which allows Tiffy to get her moves in, hit the PME 1, 2, 3. Your winner is Tiffany Stratton. Now, does this mean that Tiffany Stratton gets a shot at Julia now?
I would say that would be the next logical step.
I kind of think so, and I think that too may be a Mania match.
And I would be here for it.
Same. Oh, same. We've got. Oh, go ahead.
Julia, I think Tiffany Stratton may be the key element to getting Julia to a different gear for her character development.
I think you're right. I think that's definitely going to help for sure. Jello in the chat saying it's truly amazing the talent that NXT is pumping onto the main roster. You got that right. I mean, you look at a Kiana James, you look at a Javon Evans, a Trick Williams, an Obafemi. I mean, just massive amounts of talent coming from NXT to the main roster.
Absolutely.
Speaking of Trick Williams, we have our final match. This one set up earlier in the night when Trick perhaps got a little too lippy with one Jacob Fatu and Nick Aldis. So in true Nick Aldis fashion, he said, "Don't talk about it, be about it," and set the match up.
Yep.
I've got to say, with Trick Williams, he has to be careful because he's going to get to that point where he's supposed to be the heel, but he's getting the pops like The Rock used to. Like if you take Booker T in as far as style and moveset and give him the adulation that The Rock got from the crowd, even when he was a heel, you're starting to get Trick Williams.
I am foreshadowing that it will be a Mania match at Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams, and there will be a double turn involved in it.
You know what? I think you may be right. And I am so here for that. I've been wanting to heel Sammy for a minute. And like he's losing his mind at the moment. Like there was a backstage segment between him and Cody where once again things got heated. Sammy's like, "That's not what I just wanted to tell you congratulations." And it turned into this whole thing. And so he's getting angry. And Trick Williams got things to say. Aleister Black. Sammy, I've never seen Sammy look so intense as he did when he looked at Aleister Black and said, "Stay far away from me." And walked off. Stormed off, I should say.
Well, what was that? No, Sami Zayn is not in the room. You don't have to worry about getting hit. I promise you.
Yeah, he beat the hell out of the water bottle. I'm just saying.
Hey, that's 3 weeks in a row that he's beat the hell out of that water bottle.
I'm saying. The water bottles do one. Like,
yeah,
now
absolutely.
that I've said that, if somebody throws a water bottle at Sami Zayn and hits him, that's it. I'm done.
We're popping. That's it.
Jello says something, and he's not wrong here. I mean, Trick is good, and they are popping for Trick, but are they popping more for Trick Williams as a talent, or are they popping more for whoop that Trick?
I mean,
well, good question.
I think it's a combination of everything because he has it, and you can't teach it. He has that factor that I have not seen on the active roster in a very, very long time.
Again, I go back to my comparisons between like Booker T and The Rock, and
oh yeah, he does. He really does remind me of a just exiting Harlem Heat Booker T.
Yes. No, I agree with that. That's a good statement about him. But let's get back to his match because he has a match with Jacob Fatu, and these guys beat the hell out of each other. Like, there's no question about that. I was impressed.
Oh yeah.
Now, was I impressed that they beat the hell out of each other? No. I mean, they're two big old dudes. They're going to beat the hell out of each other. What I was impressed about was I'm not 100% that they've ever had the opportunity to work each other. So for them to have the chemistry that they had in the ring and to make that match what it was, having never worked each other, I was impressed.
Oh, abso-freaking-lutely.
In the end, it would be Trick Williams that gets the win. And I know when I say Trick Williams and Jacob Fatu are in a match, you're not expecting to hear Trick Williams got the win. But he did because Drew McIntyre came in, interfered. Something Jello called almost to the minute. We were doing the watch along, and I want to say it was maybe 10 seconds, possibly 20 seconds off of what Jello said that Drew actually came out. So kudos to Jello on that one.
Well, since he didn't quit, no.
Oh, I love that. Nick Aldis. He's like, well, Drew, I guess you didn't quit. I guess you're back. So you have a match with Jacob Fatu next week. Next. And go. I mean, Like that's exactly how much he gave it. Well, you got a match with Jacob Fatu next week.
Next would be that contract signing.
Holy hell. Okay. So this started out one way and then went a completely different way. So we get Cody. Cody comes out. Well, Randy comes out first, and then Cody comes out. You even see Randy do the whoa. You know, it was kind of cool because obviously these guys are friends.
Yeah.
So they're both in the ring. Cody's putting Randy over. I mean, just giving him his flowers about how, you're the reason I've been able to do what I do. You were there when other people weren't. You kept me going. And for that, we will always be friends, blah, blah, blah. And Randy's like, hold on. I don't think that you understand how much I need this, how much I need that, pointed at the belt. And he said one line that set the whole thing. He said it was supposed to be Drew. And Cody cut him off. So that line was real short because Cody cut him off right as he said it. Said, look, I want the Viper. They want the Viper. We want the Legend Killer. I know that's what we're going to get at WrestleMania, and that's what I want. I'm here for it. So Randy goes, okay. And he signs it, turns to Cody. They have a hug, and then blam! Cody's head goes nearly through the table. And Randy just loses his mind. Like, I don't know that I've ever seen Cody get color so fast in my life.
Oh yeah, he put the beat down smooth on him. I think they said, "Hey, you remember that $400 you borrowed from me like 3 months ago, and you never even bothered to pay it back? Well, guess what? Here's some steps for your troubles."
Oh, absolutely. He put his face through a table and then threw him at the announce table. Not threw him on, no, threw him at the announce table, and then picks him up, hit him with the stairs. And then he set the stairs up. Now, those who watch wrestling quite often know that the stairs are squared on one end and make kind of a V on the other end so they can go around the ring post. Well, the way he's got it set up, it's leaned up against the announce table. And that V is pointed up. And he throws Cody over there, and Cody's head is laid in that V. And that's when everybody freaks out and starts coming out and trying to push Randy back. You need to go, you need to go, you need to go. Camera comes off of Randy, comes back to Cody. And through the crowd, Randy comes back out with a chair and just, bam, slams the chair down. Now, look, I know, and you know, and everybody that's listening here knows, the way his head was sunk down into that V probably didn't hit him with the chair. But I don't even care. Just watching it, I'm like, oh my God, he killed him. I know what happened, and I'm still like, oh my God, he killed him. That's how good they made this.
But the sinister deal of the whole thing is he gets that chair and he goes and sits in the middle of the ring and sets the belt down on his lap as if he was wearing it. And he had that I'm relieved look on his face. Like, I needed to get that out for about 3 years now.
Well, and the thing is, Randy Orton, Randall Keith, if you're nasty, can tell a story with his face and not say a word. And you could see it's just like he was hearing the voices and he's like, oh, wait, this is Cody. But no, I need that title, but this is Cody. And he's kind of back and forth until the voices finally won. And he told that whole story with his face without saying a word through the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that is one of the things that shows a true great in this business.
Absolutely.
So this SmackDown had its moments. Nothing that made me really go, wow, with the exception of the Randy Cody thing, because holy hell. I'm going to give it a solid B+.
Okay. I can live with the B+.
So I'm gonna, before we get into Raw, I want to remind everybody, if you haven't done it yet, go through, click all the things, click the likes, the subscribes, the bells, the whistles, all the things. Click them all. We're even right now we're live on TikTok. So if you haven't followed us on TikTok, do that. I'm actually doing TikTok from my TikTok this time. Moving forward, I'll be doing it from the Not Your Average Mark. I just had to test a few things. But click all the things. Let us know what you like, what you don't like. We always love to hear feedback from you guys. Jello saying John Cena has a heel turn. John Cena has a heel turn. Does it on Cody. Randy Orton has a heel turn. Does it on Cody. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I mean, considering the two, I think Randy did it better.
I think so too. I think he did it more violently for sure.
I think it has more legs.
I agree. All right, so let's get into Raw before we get too deep into Randy Orton. We start the show with a visionary, a revolutionary. That's right, Seth freaking Rollins and like 15 masked dudes. Seth Rollins says that he created the Vision and he will kill the Vision. And I believe him. It was a good promo. Paul Heyman comes out and he's like, putting my trust in you is the stupidest thing I've ever done in my life, is what Seth says to Paul. And Paul says, F-A. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, before you get that far, let's talk about appearance.
Paul was all beat up.
He looked like he'd been on a 7-day bender. Bloodshot eyes. Hadn't shaved
under one eye.
Week. Yeah, he looked like he'd been shot at and missed and shit at and hit.
He absolutely did. And so J-Rib says Paul looked homeless. I mean, kind of. Yeah, he had the scruff and he's like got a tick about mask guys now.
So but he was a homeless guy that inherited a $4,000 suit.
You know, he robbed one of the Rock's closets and bypassed the $500 shirt and grabbed the $400 suit. He looks at Seth Rollins, very simply says, F-A-F-O. Crowd makes some noise. He says, F-A-F-5. Out comes the beast incarnate. Brock Lesnar comes out and just lays waste to all of the masked men. And then the lights go out. And then the green lasers start and smoke start coming up. And we think, wait a minute. That's Obafemi. That is the ruler. And sure enough, the ruler comes out. They're in the ring. And he powerbombed Lesnar. Now, let me say that again for anybody in the back that didn't hear that. Obafemi power bombs, lifts up and power bombs Brock Lesnar. I mean, damn.
Okay. Brock Lesnar doesn't make moments. Brock Lesnar makes monsters.
Yes, he does.
And that is exactly what he did at that moment in time. He made Obafemi look like he was the monster.
Oh, 100%.
And tells him, put your foot on my chest.
That's what I was about to say. All the kudos out there to Brock Lesnar, because Brock Lesnar doesn't put a whole lot of people over. He's a monster. No. His job is to come out and be a monster. So there's a whole lot of people he hasn't put over. And some of the internet wrestling community would say that he even buries some people because he refuses to put them over. I don't agree with that personally, but to have him tell Oba put your foot on my chest. That's a torch passing moment. And all the kudos to him for it.
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, there's really not much more you can say about all that, because I mean, the pop was insane.
Yeah.
Whenever Oba had his foot on Brock's chest and then pointed to that WrestleMania sign, I could hear the San Antonio crowd from my doorstep.
Yeah, I bet so. Like, first off, San Antonio's a rowdy crowd already.
Oh yeah.
Like let's just make that clear. That's already a rowdy crowd, but they lost their minds, as did, I'm sure, everybody watching at home, because that was huge, and it appears that the challenge has been answered. Yes, WrestleMania is going to be Brock Lesnar versus Oba Femi. And it's going to be insane.
Yeah. You better have your popcorn for that match, because if you try to turn around, pick it up off the ground and get it to your mouth, before you can get it to your mouth, I guarantee that match is going to be over one way or another.
Yep.
It's going to be quick, it's going to be hard hitting, and it's going to be over with and done with before you can say what the hell.
Well, Aaron Marie says, I think Paul shit himself. Yeah, he definitely should have been wearing the brown pants on this one. 100%.
Yes, freaking lutely.
Mary Youngblood Orion says hi. He don't want to go to bed yet. Of course not. He's watching the Not Your Average Mark Wrestling podcast. But what's up, Orion? How you doing? So that's how we started Raw. And I was here for it. And then we get the original El Grande Americano. We're just going to call him OG. We get the OG versus version 2. This one's proved that the crowd, we just got through talking about that San Antonio crowd, that rowdy Texas crowd. And this is proof that a crowd can make all the difference. Now, it's obvious going into this one that OG is the face, V2 is the heel in this, right?
Right.
Crowd don't care. Like, they were cheering Kaiser's version, just El Grande Americano, and booing OG Americano.
Because we are close enough to the border, and right now, with AAA, it is the exact opposite.
It is. Like, Grande Americano, the Kaiser version, is getting pops, like top star pops at AAA shows. I feel like it's time, just me personally, I feel like it's time to let OG be Chad Gable and let him wow as Chad Gable for a while. Because this character's getting cold. I mean, he's not getting the pops. He's getting some boos, but it's not even getting heavy boos.
Well, it's also, you got to know your audience.
True, very true.
Because whenever they were up north, they didn't have that problem.
I mean, that's fair, and that's what I said. The crowd can make all the difference in a match. Jello's saying El Chad Americano had a wardrobe malfunction. See, I must have missed that. I didn't.
I totally missed that too.
The match was good. Don't get me wrong. I mean, both these guys really good at what they do, but they still booed Gable. I mean, OG. In the end, Americano gets the victory. I don't remember whether it was Bravo or I think it was Bravo slipped him the thing to put in his mask. He hit the headbutt, and OG just kind of crumpled. And 1, 2, 3, match is over.
Yeah.
So
all in all, it was a fun situation.
It was a good match. I don't think it was what everybody thought it was, what everybody thought it was going to be.
And why should it be? They've got something that's got legs, and they can continue it for another several weeks.
And I'm sure they will. I feel like at some point we're getting a mask versus mask match, and I think Grande Americano is going to unmask OG.
Yes.
I don't know if that's Mania, but it's happening. I think that match actually, given the pops that he gets, I think that match actually happens on a AAA show.
Yes.
If just me guessing. That takes us into the women's intercontinental champ, AJ Lee versus Bayley. I was so happy to see this match. If you've ever watched this podcast, you know how highly I regard Bayley. I'm a huge fan. And to see her get what she herself has called a dream match for her makes me happy in my face.
Oh, absolutely. She was giddy from the word go on this.
No, she was 100%. And this match was action from bell to bell. Solid action. Like I'll say this, Bayley, as much as I love her, was a little slow getting out of the gates on this match, I would say. But once she got started, like she was in control the majority of the match. Like AJ was fighting for her life, not just her championship in that. Because this was being billed as Bayley's last opportunity to get to WrestleMania.
Uh-huh.
So the fight was there. I've got to fight my hero. Like I've got to fight my hero in order to get where I've got to go. So I got to turn it on. I talk about that comment in a minute. So it was good. Like this was a great match. Like Bayley, she hit the Bayley to belly for a very, very, very close 2 count. Like it was half inch from being a 3 count. But AJ kicks out. In the end, AJ's able to cinch in the Black Widow, got the win. Bayley, of course, frustrated. AJ looking a little worse for wear after that. Like she may have won the match, but she knows she had a match.
Absolutely.
After the match, though, we go to commercial at the end of the match. We come back, and Becky Lynch is just beating the hell out of AJ. I think she might still be a little salty.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit salty. So I said I hold Bayley in high regard, and of course, Patrick, regard more like oogle or ogle. I do not ogle Bayley cakes. I just watch attentively. We go from one Intercontinental match to the next Intercontinental match, Penta versus Dragon Lee. And as much as I loved the Bayley versus AJ match, this was match of the night for me, hands down. 100% match of the night.
Absolutely. It was fire.
It really, and like, you don't see it a whole lot with the lucha matches, but this was we went through 2 different commercial breaks for this. So like we went through 2 commercial segments through this match, and I'm here for it. Like this was one of those that, you're on the edge of your seat going, oh, it's about to happen. It's about to happen. And then we get the kick out, and we get another cool move done, and we get another kick out. Like it's that match. So it's back and forth. Both of these guys doing what they can do. And I don't know if it was the San Antonio crowd, which is a crowd that's, of course, well steeped in lucha, or the athletic, high-flying ability of Dragon Lee and Penta, or a combination of the two. But this had every box checked for main event status without being a main event.
Oh, no doubt in my mind. This was it.
It was 100%. I can neither confirm nor deny that, Jello. Jello in the chat saying Alexa Bliss is my only ogle. I can neither confirm nor deny at this time.
You need to go ahead and plead the fifth so you don't incriminate yourself.
That is absolutely correct. I plead the fifth. In the end of this one, Penta hits the Destroyer, retains the belt in what was, in my mind, just one of his and Dragon Lee's greatest matches since they've both come to the main roster. That takes us to Maxine Dupree versus Natty Neidhart. Listen, Linda. I love watching Maxine and the way she's grown. I love that Natty's getting to use the Natty gimmick. But as much as it pains me to say this one felt like a filler match. And we haven't had any of those in a while, like any that I would call a filler match. But this one felt like a filler match.
Yeah. It was, I don't think it necessarily had legs at all.
I think it did at one point. This whole storyline did at one point. But I think we've gotten off track somewhere. Not to say that they can't bring it back, but I think we've gotten off track somewhere.
But we're going to have to figure out. I honestly think, I don't think we're going to get another chance with Becky and AJ at WrestleMania.
No.
Or if we do, then we are going to do Natty versus AJ Lee at Backlash,
which I would also be here for. I want to see where they're going. I think you're probably right in your description there of where they're going. Jello saying there was no explanation as to why now. I mean, you're not wrong. But after this match goes to its finish, Michael Cole attempted to have a live interview with Randy Orton. Randy Orton, it's a video conference. And Randy's on the phone. He's like, hold on. And he's talking to somebody. And, thanks for reminding me who I am, blah, blah, blah. Gets off the phone and tells Michael, look, Cole, I know that we're supposed to have an interview, but I changed my mind. We're not going to have an interview. I was on the phone with somebody that reminded me that I'm a killer, that I'm a legend killer. And I'm not going to do the interview, but I will leave you with this. Wrestling has more than one royal family. And so now talk of the town is, who is Randy Orton talking to? I know who I don't want it to be. And it's a name I hear thrown out there way more than it should be. I don't want it to be Ric Flair.
Well, good news on that is Mr. Flair is currently still contracted to AEW.
Dean saying, or Jello saying that the IWC has a rumor that it's Charlotte on the phone, which would still be the whole Flair thing, and I'm not into that. Solitary Alyssa on TikTok saying not woo.
Not woo.
I like it.
I do too.
Now I have a couple of people that I think it might be. One of them being The Rock, which I don't know that we should run it back that way because we already did that, but the history is there. The other being Aleister Black. He's kind of running that whole thing of who are you? Remember who you are. I think you said it the other day. Today, the part of Karrion Kross will be played by Aleister Black.
Yes, very much so.
So he's kind of the devil on the shoulder. So I think one of those two is who it's going to turn out to be. But there's somebody that I want it to be. I don't think that it will be, but I want it to be.
Okay.
And that's Kevin Owens. I would love very much for it to be Kevin Owens reminding Randy that Cody is not part of the only royalty in wrestling. The Orton family is wrestling royalty, and you are a part of that. And just building him up. I'd love to see it be that. I really would.
Yeah.
Great way to bring Kevin back in. I don't think that's what it's going to be, but I would love to see it that way.
Yeah. Orton was the second, he was the second uh, third generation superstar in the WWE.
Yep. Absolutely right. Um, we go out of that. We come back to Danhausen. He wants to join the New Day. Kofi's talking to Javon Evans. Javon Evans is like, nah, I ain't about that. Because Kofi made a joke at the expense of Dragon Lee. And he's like, you want to talk trash about my friend? I ain't about that life. I don't want to be part of the New Day. And so Danhausen shows up and says, you're looking for a new member of the New Day. I will be the new member of the New Day. And they're like, no. I don't want you in the New Day. I'm not worried about your little curses, any of that. As a matter of fact, I think you should just go. And Danhausen says, you want Danhausen to go? Well, before I do, I should let you know that you are cursed. And for somebody that doesn't believe in the curses, he sure did throw Grayson Waller in front of him to catch said curse.
Yeah. I saw that. That was some smooth move by Kofi.
Yeah, Kofi still got them moves. Grayson Waller's like, no, it went over my shoulder. It went over my shoulder. Get it. It's on my shirt. Get it off me. Like it was. I was cracking up. We go from there to Stephanie Vaquer versus Raquel Rodriguez. Now I know earlier Jello said that this is one of the things he feels like is getting stale. Is Stephanie Vaquer versus Raquel Rodriguez because that last 6 matches they have been together. I like personally the fact that we have these two in a program. We get to see Stephanie Vaquer with solid control of this particular match early and watch it swing over to Raquel Rodriguez taking control after it spilled out onto the floor. Now, why do they keep going at each other? Because, and this is just my opinion, Liv is going after Stephanie Vaquer. Right?
Yes.
Well, Raquel is fighting all the battle for it. And I believe that the reason we keep doing Stephanie and Raquel is it's going to end up going to Liv and Raquel. Like Liv's going to keep interfering. Liv's going to keep coming out. Liv's going to keep trying to keep Raquel down a little bit. And I think we get around to Raquel versus Liv and the implosion of the New Day once it's all said and done.
But the New Day?
Not the New Day, the Judgment Day.
Yes.
Well, see, the New Day are cursed, so they're going to implode anyway. But
well, yeah,
I think that's what, and this is a perfect example of that because, like I said, we've got La Primera doing her thing and taking control, and then Raquel takes control over, and Liv shows up. Liv tries to get the distraction in. She gets involved. And out comes Io Sky, which kind of threw me off a little bit. Wasn't expecting Io to come out in this. And well,
poor Io.
Poor Io Sky. She got thrown across the announce table for her troubles by Raquel Rodriguez. They get back in the ring. The distraction's enough that Stephanie Vaquer can get the roll up 1, 2, 3. And the way she does a roll up, I don't know why people aren't doing this more often. Like, She does the roll up and then rolls over one more time. So instead of laying across the back of the thighs, she's laying across the ankles, and it's so much harder to kick out of that. And I think it's a good move, and I like it a lot.
It's very scientific.
It is, and that's one thing she is really good at being. This takes us to CM Punk and Roman Reigns getting face to face, and it's getting better every time. Thus far, the narrative's been Punk playing mind games on Roman, and he's told him on several occasions, I'm in your head. I'm in your head. I love that they flipped it around this time. They had Roman playing the mind games. Like Roman's throwing insult after insult. You know, you're not as good as me. You're not as fast as me. You're not as good looking at me as me. You didn't main event an entire European tour. And if you want to talk big money baller, maybe you should talk to your wife.
Uh-huh.
And I'm thinking, you just brought up AJ, you finna get right in the mouth. But no. Punk just smiled about it. And Roman's like, whatever, I'm out of here. He goes to get out of the ring, and Punk gets in front of him and keeps him from going out. He finally goes out. Punk gets out and says, I'm the champ, and this is my show. I tell you when you can leave. So Roman's like, whatever. We get back in the ring. He Punk threw everything out there. I'm going to beat you at WrestleMania 42. Punk threw out a name out there. I guess he didn't exactly throw a name out there, but he said
I would call you Joe, but there's another Samoan named Joe that I much love and I have much love and respect for.
Right. He says, I'm not going to call you, I'm not going to call you Joe because, there's a Samoan that I love very much that I'm not going to insult like that. And I'm like, ooh, he just brought up Samoa Joe. I like it. And then
Roman right off the cuff, Roman's like, well, then if you love and respect him, then you should know that I'm his tribal chief.
Yep, and I'm your tribal chief. And then he's like, you know what? You know what your biggest problem is? You're old. And that was the trigger. That was call me old again. Now, I think Tommy Dreamer.
I felt that spiritually.
Me and you both. Like he drops him, just straight drops him. And then they get him out of the ring. And that whole segment was set up so that Roman Reigns could say to the camera, who's in whose head now? I say one thing and he snaps. Who's in whose head? And I think it was set up just for that. And I think Tommy Dreamer put it best. Tommy Dreamer was on the Busted Open podcast, said that there's two things you don't do in wrestling. You don't call someone fat and out of shape, and you don't call someone old. Because when you get punched in the mouth and dropped, you just got punched in the mouth and dropped by the old guy. And when you go to WrestleMania and you can't get the win, you lost to the old guy.
Yeah.
So I gotta give him that. That's a very valid point, and I agree with it wholeheartedly. But I'm here for it. Like I love the psychological game that they're playing back and forth. Raw was good. I give it an A+. Raw gets an A+ simply for the Oba power bombing Brock. If nothing else happened on the show, they'd still get an A+ just for that. That was so awesome.
If nothing else happened on the show, you would have given it an S.
Absolutely, because holy hell. All right, so that gets us through Raw, brings us to everybody's favorite segment of the show. It is time for Notes from the Clown Show. Oh, I don't know if we're going to get on. Oh, Ricochet, what have you done? So we had a young lady, Sandy is her name, who expressed her opinion about one of Ricochet's promo, like his promo work, saying his acting hasn't improved. Very simple, very to the point. Now, Mikey, you've been in the business for a while. I know you've been doing this very long.
Yeah.
There's a few ways you could respond to this. So let me give you a quiz, pop quiz for you, pop quiz for everybody listening. Do you, A, give a non-response? Don't answer. It's a fan. I get it, but I don't have to answer. So you do a non-answer. Or do you, B, give an answer that makes people want to see what's going to happen next? Or C, answer by saying, I'm glad you got MS.
I know the answer, but it wasn't what it is not what Ricochet did.
No. If you're Ricochet, the answer is C, I'm glad you got MS. And the backlash has been insanity, to the point that there are people that are reporting that by the end of the week, Ricochet may not be with AEW anymore. Now, first and foremost, kudos to Sandy, because there's several ways she could have responded to that. But her response was, well, if that makes you happy, have a nice life. didn't talk shit, didn't disparage him, just said, well, if that's what makes you happy. So kudos to Sandy. And Sandy, I don't know if you're watching the show. If you're not, you should be. But kudos to you. Well done, ma'am. Now, Ricochet did pull the post down. And he sent out an apology, which obviously was from the heart and not at all directed by upper management. Do you know how I know that it was from the heart and not at all directed by upper management?
How did you know this?
Because Dave Meltzer said that his apology was the apology was made. The decision to make the apology was made by Ricochet himself. He said that he apologized upon thinking about it, and it did not come from higher ups in the promotion, which is a sign of maturity. Dave Meltzer said it. It's got to be true. Come on now.
Well, yeah, obviously, because Dave Meltzer is the almighty as far as the clown show is concerned.
I'm just saying. So J-Reb saying that FA without FO is kind of unheard of nowadays. And I think he's about to FO. Like, it's probably finna get bad. Next thing. What do you do if you're Tony Khan? You have Dave Meltzer out there putting out facts that you can't live up to. And WWE is just flat kicking your ass. Well, you make it publicly known that a company you own put in a bid to buy WWE. Well, I was going to buy them, but I didn't. That's how I hear that going on in my head. Apparently, there's some newly unredacted court records show that a company that Tony Khan owns called Base 10 put in a $6.9 billion offer in 2023 on the WWE, which is a few dollars short of the $9 billion that Endeavor paid for WWE.
Just a little bit.
Just yeah, a little bit. Now I get it. If I'm Tony Khan and WWE is my arch nemesis, and there's rumor going around that it's going to be for sale, of course I'm going to try to buy it because I'm doing everything else that WCW did and didn't learn anything from it. And so, yeah, I don't think that the idea of a monopoly is good. I don't think that it helps anybody. You and I both have said on this show on numerous occasions, while I don't like a whole lot of what AEW does, they need to be there because the competition makes everybody better. Iron sharpens iron. So having a monopoly where Tony Khan owns AEW and WWE, which would also give him NXT, this doesn't work. It's not going to work out right. Not good at all.
Not at all.
And lastly, last thing. Bloodbath matches. I don't know how many of you watched AEW. I think it was called Revolution this past weekend. But what are we doing here? Like, we had blood in damn near every match. And like, not just, oh no, I'm bleeding, like pouring blood. And we've gone to, like, don't take this the wrong way, those of you who are as much independent wrestling fans as I am. But if you're AEW using light tubes and stabbing somebody in the forehead with skewers and using a syringe, that's indie shit. Like, that's not, like, I don't know how else to say it. Skewers to the forehead is indie shit. We should be past that on a nationally televised program like AEW.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And then you had things that were disturbing to people. Like MJF taking a syringe and putting it through Hangman Adam Page's tongue and lip. Like, that's some Moxley shit.
That's exactly what that is.
Like I don't know what they're trying to accomplish with that. Like I don't know if Tony Khan got to listening and was like, okay, they said that we're doing too much stuff like Japan, so let's go the other direction completely, 100% right now. Death matches for everyone. Like I figure that's the production meeting is Tony Khan in there. Okay, I'm glad everybody's here. You get a death match, and you get a death match, and you get a death. Like he Oprah'd the whole thing.
Oh my goodness, yes. But I mean, a lot of the stuff they are doing is originally from Japan. The deathmatch stuff actually originated in Japan.
Yes.
So that's still part of where his wheelhouse should you say. But honestly, less is more.
I mean, I don't disagree.
You know, but if you know you're gonna have a Texas death match for your main event, I think the first thing you need to do is tell everybody in the production meeting, I do not want this, I do not want that. All of this stuff is reserved for the main event. Nobody else do it. There is an old term, or there's an old, not term, but an old story that was told by Dr. Tom Pritchard one time. And it was, you going into the circus and you look up and the first thing you see is two elephants having sex. And you're going to go, oh my God, the elephants are having sex. And you tell a couple of people about it. And then, maybe a couple of times afterwards, you're still seeing the elephants having sex and you're like, okay. But then, so long and so long and so long after that, it's just, those are them fucking elephants.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, you don't want to end up ruining what you have later on by doing it all night long.
No, I don't disagree with that. And there was something that Jello said. We had blood, breast bites, and Ronda Rousey. Like I think that should be the tagline for that show: blood, breast bites, and Ronda Rousey. Aaron Marie say it's not ECW anymore. They need to slow down. They're going to kill themselves or get bad infections. Jello saying, as I've said before, AEW will not be happy till someone dies in the ring. Looking at you, Darby Allin. Question for you from the chat, Mike.
Okay.
J-Red wants to know, what the hell kind of circuses are you going to?
It's a figure of speech, and it was something that was taught on by Dr. Tom Pritchard.
Mary Youngblood saying, I don't know what circus that is, but Orion's not going. I like it.
I second that motion.
All right, so we got about 10 minutes left. So we got one more thing to talk about tonight, and that is the craziness that was B.C.W Texas Separate Ways this weekend.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
So we started out with the Guerrilla Militia making their way to the ring after a spot-on rendition of the national anthem. Apparently they had a lot to say. They called out the general manager. I know that guy personally, by the way. And Big Sid says, you're ducking, you're dodging. You don't want to give me a title match. I told you what I'm here for. Either you give me what I want, or you thought when I beat up your kid before was bad, I will put one of them in the dirt. A momentary lack of judgment, I'm sure. in that phrase. And he was told, you know, that right there, that kind of thing is why you haven't gotten a title shot, because you come in here and you try to bully your way into a title shot, and that may work in Dallas, but this ain't Dallas, and that doesn't work here. So you want a shot at a title, you want to open that conversation, I will give you a match tonight and win it clean, and we can open that line of conversation. Tried to walk away. Cool, let's start the show. But no, Axel Savage had something he wanted to say. He's like, I'm sure you can see out here that Rook Tyler's not here right now. He's off handling guerrilla militia business, but we have beat these jokers, talking about certified franchise, already. So this is what I'm willing to offer. Either one of them, I don't care who. One of the two of them come out and beat me, and you win the tag titles. Beat me in a one-on-one straight-up match, and you win the tag titles. To which brought out Mac the franchise, who's like, I hear you handing out titles. I take one. I am your Huckleberry. So we set up the match. It's a done deal. Tried to walk away again, but of course, Franco D'Angelo had something he wanted to say too. He's like, we got all this stuff going on. I had to get legal involved to get my title match, but at least I'm getting my title match tonight. But I can't help but notice that there's one of us in the ring that doesn't have a match at all. And what's up with that? That person being, of course, Chris Watson, or as I lovingly refer to him as Chris Watson. So it was made very clear, if you will get out of my ring and stop holding up my show, I got somebody in the back that I can send out. Chris Watson will have a match, and it starts right now. So finally, the show starts. Yay. We have Chris Watson versus Cisco Kid. Turned out to be a really good match. Cisco Kid making his debut with B.C.W Texas and doing a great job. We had a spot where Chris Watson may have misstepped a bit, and Cisco Kid did exactly what he needed to do and took advantage of that. 1, 2, 3. Cisco Kid gets the upset win over Chris Watson.
Yep.
Thought that was really good. We had Miles Journey going up against Hondro Zuma. I've been impressed with Hondro Zuma since he debuted last show in January. Like, he is an all-fired fighter in that ring, and I enjoy watching him. And of course, Miles Journey, the Hellfire hippie, making his debut on B.C.W Texas with Hondro Zuma, and they had a good match. They really did. In the end, Hondro Zuma comes out on top. Miles Journey was a bit sore walking back to the locker room, let's say.
Crying on the shoulder of the country devil.
Yep, crying on the shoulder of the country devil. We go from that. We had Marcus MD versus CD Cash in what was a wonderful match. Crowd completely behind Marcus MD. Like, the Marcus chants were deafening. Good back and forth in this one, but in the end, CD Cash able to get a submission win on Marcus MD. And I'm not even sure what to call the move he did. It was almost like a crossface, but instead of grabbing the head, he grabbed the arm and tweaked it back. Like, it looked painful.
Well, we'll have to get with ringside and find out what he called it.
Yeah, we will. That would not be the last time we see Marcus MD on Saturday night. No, it would not. Because the following match had the wild card, Jeb Bingham, going up against the limited edition Jesse the Kid James. Jesse talked a whole lot of trash before this match online, on socials. And these two went at it. I mean, it was a fight. There was a point at which Jesse went out of the ring. It appears that he had hurt his neck. How do I know that he hurt his neck? Because from the gorilla area, I could hear my neck. The referee jumps out, checks on him, calls for medical. Of course, Marcus MD, being the doctor on site, went out to check on him, helped him up, moved him to the steps, checking him out, make sure he's okay. And then nobody saw it coming, the fact that Marcus MD grabs Jeb Bingham, drives his face into the stairs, throws him back into the ring, tells the referee that Jesse's okay, he can continue. We get the 1, 2, 3. Jesse gets the win, leaves with Marcus MD and the Country Devil. See, Bill Donovan has made his rounds, it seems, because he was there for a whole lot of what was going on Saturday night.
Yep, and he was the one that had the referee's attention away so that the referee didn't see the shot on the stairs.
And I can only think that was on purpose. That was
they planned some stuff.
We also had Big said, like he was told, when your match clean, he went up against Eddie Zetro. And Eddie Zetro, that hasn't been at BCW in a while, good to see him back.
Eddie Zetro, always the hell of a competitor. And he didn't care that Ced was, way bigger than he was. He brought the fight right to him.
Absolutely he did. And it was working real well right up until Ced decided it was over and put him in the it's almost a modified camel clutch, I think. I'm sure if I asked Ced about it, he'd say it's called the gorilla clutch. But got the submission win. Had to go out and tell him to stop. You got the clean win. Man of my word, we can have that conversation. But put him down. There were some more things said that I'm again going to say were probably a lapse in judgment, something about, burying my children, but we'll have conversations about that. That takes us into Nathan Briggs, main event, Nathan Briggs versus Sean Lau. I enjoyed this match. Like, it was really, really good. But once again, Bill Donovan shows up and is there to kind of help out Sean Lau. And there's no question about the history between the Country Devil, Bill Donovan, and the main event, Nathan Briggs. Like, they have had heat with each other for years upon years.
Very much so.
In the end, Briggs able to get the win in that one, which brought us to the match that was set up earlier in the night. Axel Savage versus Mac to franchise. Draven Reeves, Mac's partner, out there to corner for him, to keep the crowd pumped, to cheer him on, go get in there and win our titles. And it was a brutal match. Like, these are big guys doing big guy things, and it was violent. There was a point at which Mac ended up getting sent to the ropes that knocked Draven off the apron. Draven's on the apron getting the crowd into it, knocked him off the apron, which was not good. Afterwards, as much as he tried to miss it, he ducked out of what Mac ducked out of what Axel was going to do, went for the lariat. Axel ducked the lariat and hit the rockabye cutter. 1, 2, 3. Still your BCW Texas Old School Tag Team Champions, Axel Savage, Rook Tyler, the Guerrilla Militia. And then, of course, we had Damian Blood versus Franco D'Angelo. This wasn't even a match, man. This was a fight. This was a fight. It was in the ring. It was out of the ring. It almost seemed like they were trying to, I'm going to sit out here outside the ring and I'm just going to pummel you. And when the ref says you're out here too long, I'm going to break the count. And we're going right back at it. And that's what they did. And it was fight, like punches, kicks, headbutts. It was a fight. But in the end, it was considered no contest. They were both, it was a double count out. And this upset all of the Guerrilla Militia. And to the point that we had to separate everybody. We set it up. All I keep hearing, of course, all of you know I'm the general manager. I heard enough. Once again, it's, well, you're cheating us and you're blah, 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 blah. So I told him, look, you think I'm cheating you, I'm nothing but fair. So if you keep thinking that's what it is, then this is what we'll do. If the two of you are going to team and you're going to go up against Bloodlust, Damian Blood, Lilith Blood. Lilith's still salty about getting her head put through a table. So you're going to go up against Bloodlust. Win that match, and I will give you both title matches in July. Big news coming out about July, just so everybody knows. That'll be coming out soon. But if they win, they get title shots. If they lose, they go to the very bottom of the list. And the stipulations are this. It's going to be by the books. If they touch my ref, they lose. If they touch my announcer, they lose. If they touch my crowd, they lose. If any of the staff that's not supposed to be touched gets touched, they lose. So after having to keep them split up, that's kind of where we got. So that's how we ended the show. It's going to be a crazy one coming up in May. And that was BCW Texas Separate Ways. It was wild. The crowd was great. They were hot all the way through it. And I appreciate anybody that's in the chat right now that was there. I appreciate you being there. It was so good. Yes. That being said, we've come to we're about 7 minutes past where we normally go. So Mike Caldwell, to the people watching, the people listening, to everybody in the wrestling community, it is time for your final thoughts.
All in all, we have a brotherhood of wrestling. We try to look out for one another. And there was some things that happened in the last week that are unbecoming of wrestling.
Yeah.
Ultimately, if you're a wrestler, if you're a wrestler, you're part of production, you're part of the show, one way, shape, or form or another, and you see one of your brothers go down in a way that is not part of the show, and you can obviously tell, please do what you can to stop what's going on, to make sure that person is okay. Because ultimately, yes, we're going to be throwing blows. We're going to be hitting people hard, whatever. But in the end, our goal is to leave the same way we showed up, without injury. And we got to do what we can to make sure that happens.
No, I agree 100%. And it really is a family. And to see somebody go down, it does affect us all. And I am glad to hear that the person in question is going to make a full recovery. He's doing very, very well. Referee named Dallas out of OVW, doing well. But I couldn't agree more with what you said. If you see somebody go down in a way that's not part of the show, you have to stop the show. And I like to feel that's something that all of us would do because we are such a family. As far as my final thoughts go, guys, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being live in the chat. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. You guys give me this platform to talk wrestling. This is my weekly therapy. This is my chance to just, everything else goes away and we get to talk wrestling. So first and foremost, I want to thank all of you for that. Of course, Mike, I want to thank you for being on with me again. Always a good time having you on.
Absolutely.
J-Reb says I was there in spirit. We're going to have to set it up to where you're here in person at some point. West Texas professional wrestling, West Texas independent wrestling is something that if you haven't experienced, it needs to be experienced. Of course, we just had BCW Texas Separate Ways this past Saturday. On March 28th in Jake's back room here in Lubbock. Square Circle Pro Collision Course Civil War. It's going to be wild. Like, the matches are crazy. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that more next week. But I guarantee somewhere around you this weekend there is independent professional wrestling going on. Check it out. Like, get out there, support independent wrestling. You never know when the person you like, the person you're watching, is somebody you're going to see as Danhausen Shirt Boy.
Exactly.
Or on your television screen. So make sure you're taking in that content. That's going to do it for us tonight. I again want to thank everybody for joining us. We will be back tomorrow night for a SmackDown watch along. Should be good. Lots of fun. If you're not part of the Discord, go hit up our Discord, because you're going to want to see it. It's good stuff. Until tomorrow night, I'm Guapo. That's Mike Caldwell. We are not your average marks. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Yeah.